Hello, everybody. Walter here with Myths from the Ancients. Tuye chitikua, papatania watawa ieshu, paroye mititawa. Okay. Today is talking about connection and how you connect to your spirit guides, and maybe the difficulty to connect to the spirit guides. Um, a lot of us like that idea. I guess I connect to them quite well now, but it's not something you can find. It's almost something you have to feel, you have to allow, and you have to do the work to get it to where you want it to actually allow that frequency in. It takes a bit of work. It takes a bit of work mentally, uh, the way you eat and drink and do that kind of stuff. And of course anything that's mind altering. In a lot of ways, some of that plant medicine does help, but in a lot of ways you need to do it on your own because you need to be able to see it, feel it, taste it, idea to get connected to their spirit guide. And once you get the connection, you have to work on holding that frequency and understanding what it is. So the spirit world works obviously in a different dimension and different place where we are, and we move in and out of it. Because we are in form, we have to practice going in and out of it. And when we don't practice, what happens is you slowly lose it. It's a feeling. It's like being in shape. You run and you're in great shape. You are like, oh, we gotta go run a mile, no problem. If you're not in great shape, after a few years or whatever, you're like, oh, that could be a little bit of a tough go. And the body even says that. And are you telling the body that? It's the same idea with the spirit world. You have to know it. You have to remember it. You have to feel it. And a lot of the things at the beginning, I would do a meditation, and they would show me stuff to almost entice me. And what I mean by that is they will show you stuff that kind of you're like, wow, that was so cool. And in my case, with my meditation, in a sense, the ceiling was moving. The ceiling was moving in like hieroglyphics, with hieroglyphics, but in colors, almost just moving like the perfect sound of music and just flowing in and out. And it was mesmerizing. I was sitting watching it. It's moving, and then as I paid more attention, I could see the hieroglyphics, the Egyptian hieroglyphics, and it just kept moving like that. I was like, oh, what's that mean? And it didn't really mean not in a lot anything. It just was cool. And then what happened was I'd go into the meditation and I would remember that. And I would go, okay, I'm going to go back to that. And suddenly I would be moving in there again and it would be cool. But this time they moved me into it. So then I became part of that matrix. And suddenly when I became kind of the matrix, I was moving and I was just fascinated by the way that all moved, the colors and the vividness. And then I realized that this is it. This is where they are. This is kind of where the mind has to allow. And so then I would move into that, and from that it's moved higher, and then it's moved into the different guides type of thing, and a space there. I was like, they said just ask a question, and I was like, well, okay, I got a question about this. I got a question about that. Like I had hundreds of questions, and it would just come to me, boom, 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 and it was fascinating. And that's how I work on that. And so I remember what that feeling is. And the more you do that, the better it is. And that's meditation is help to settle the mind and do it. But even in a way of me doing these videos, I have to allow them in, and I'm always there. I've connected with them to such a point that they're always right beside me. All I have to do is think of it, and or put it to them, and they're listening in a sense because they integrated with me, and that was part of my progression. It took a 4 month program for me to integrate, and they asked, they said, do you, for us to give you more knowledge and to be able to work with you more, we have to integrate with your being in a sense and with your mind. And what that means is I've allowed them in to such a point where when I'm in deep meditation, I can feel them look through my eyes. It's just one of the most trippy things that I think a person can experience. It's just unbelievable. So long story short, when you're working on connecting to your guides, you need to start with the basics, and you need to just listen and allow. And I talk about allow lately because allowing yourself to heal, allowing yourself to let go of the grief, allowing yourself to do what you need to do. And it's not just like, well, I'm just going to go do it. The body, it has to be a mind, body, soul program. And when I mean by allowing, if you were on your deathbed and you're sick and you're puking and you're in pain and you're in that state of mind, and God help all the people who are, there are people in that state, you will do anything to get away from that. That feeling of like, I'll do anything, whatever that is, whatever I can do, I'll do it. That is allowing. And you have to allow the mind to connect to the spirit world, in a sense. And it's that degree of letting go of who you are. And it's not a mental thing. It's a personal energy of the form, the mind, the body, the soul. Everything has to say, okay, we can't take this baloney anymore, and I'm just going to allow myself. And when I do that, and in my state, when I heal people, oh, there's my dog. When I heal people, they have to allow it. And when they allow it, the healing they get is fantastic. And some of the people, like I'm dealing with an autism person, he doesn't have any of them issues of allowing. He just is doing his thing. And as the ancients help him and we work through it, he's just phenomenal, changing and becoming social, and it's just, and it's changing before my eyes, and of course the mother and the family are like, well, what is going on? I was just, well, the angels are doing their thing, but really he's doing it. He's just allowing the mind to open, and the ancients are guiding the way. I would say that would be really what it is. So when you're looking for connections and you're trying to do that, think about that as you're working through your meditations and trying to find your spirit guides and that good stuff. He's basically, they're always there. They're always willing. It's not that hard if you allow. He in a lot of ways he made a joke, and we're right here. What's the big deal? You guys get away from all this idea of worrying and trying to figure things out. Just kind of allow it, and that's kind of was his joke. That's why I chuckled. Anyway, have a good day.